What happens when two strong personalities collide over one of the most sensitive issues of our time? You get a viral podcast moment that the internet can't stop talking about. On a recent episode of the PBD podcast, Patrick Bet David exploded on co-host Adam Sosnick, and we mean exploded. What began as a discussion on dating trends turned into one of the most uncomfortable, controversial, and revealing on-air debates ever caught on camera. Let's break it down. The fire started with an article from the Wall Street Journal. The headline, "American Women Are Giving Up on Marriage." That alone set the tone. The host took turns reacting to stats that shocked them. Over 51.4% of women aged 18-40 were single in 2023. Just 23 years ago, that number was only 41.8%. The shift wasn't small, it was historic. Adam and co-host Vinny gave their initial takes, making a few self-deprecating jokes about their dating lives.
I had a conversation with you about how we talk over, certain things we say. You do it again the following week. After I had a conversation with you last week.
But as Adam began digging into the implications, especially from the male perspective, things started heating up. He pointed out that women are more educated, more financially independent, and increasingly disinterested in marriage and kids. And with social media and apps like OnlyFans changing the playing field, Adam warned that men, especially average men, were being left behind. That's when Patrick's expression began to change. Adam's point was clear: the average man is losing. He painted a picture of guys in their 20s and 30s who are broke, out of shape, and struggling to keep up. Many are lonely, spending hours playing video games and scrolling through Instagram models who would never look their way. To make matters worse, he argued, they're expected to compete in a dating market where women are looking for men with yachts, mansions, and six-figure incomes. They're not lazy, Adam said. They're discouraged. He argued that women have become the prize in today's dating world, and many men feel like they don't even get a ticket to the game. The rise of hypergamy, where women date across or up in status, combined with the cultural obsession with boss babes, leaves a lot of regular guys feeling invisible. Adam wasn't saying men should give up. He was saying they feel like the system already has. And he wasn't just talking about himself. "I'm good," he said, "but I'm talking about the general man out there." That was the final straw for PBD. Patrick didn't just push back. He slammed the brakes and then hit the gas. "You sound like a victim," he said to Adam, cutting him off mid-sentence. "That's victim language to me forever." He didn't mince words. In PBD's view, Adam wasn't just describing the modern man, he was excusing him. Patrick sees struggle as a call to level up, not a reason to sulk. If you're 75 pounds overweight, playing video games for 3 hours a day, and reading junk instead of improving yourself, he said, you deserve exactly what you're getting. Patrick got personal, sharing his own story. At 23, he said, he knew he wasn't the man he'd want his daughter to marry, so he changed. He increased his value, built credibility, built wealth. That's the path he believes every man should take. Not all will follow it, but that's on them. He made it crystal clear. He has no sympathy for guys who stay stuck.
But they don't.
But that's their problem.
I agree.
Okay then, so I'm not going to feel sorry for you.
And as for Adam, Patrick called him out directly. "You're easily influenced. You flip-flop. Make up your damn mind and stand for something already." Up to this point, it was fiery, but now it got deeply uncomfortable. Patrick turned to the spotlight on Adam's personal contradictions. One week he says he wants a family. The next, he's promoting nightlife and OnlyFans culture. "You say you want a wife," Patrick said, "but you're living like a playboy. So which is it?" Adam, caught off guard, tried to stay calm. "Life's good for me," he said. "I'm not complaining, but I'm telling you what's happening out there." But Patrick wasn't buying it. "You keep saying you want something, but then act completely against it. If you want to be a player, be a player. But don't act like you're the voice of the average man looking for a wife." It wasn't just a philosophical difference, it became a lecture. PBD accused Adam of being immature, disrespectful, and hypocritical. He even brought up private conversations they'd had behind the scenes about tone and professionalism, saying Adam crossed the line. Again.
I had a conversation with you about how we talk over, certain things we say. You do it again the following week. After I had a conversation with you last week.
"I've told you this 50 times," Patrick said. "You lack respect in the way you communicate sometimes. I've got daughters. There's a line." Adam apologized for his tone, especially for cursing once on air, but defended his message. And then it turned into a full philosophical split. Patrick kept returning to the core. Victimhood is weakness. Stop blaming culture. Stop blaming women. Build yourself. Build your value. If you don't, that's on you. Adam, meanwhile, argued that the world has changed, and ignoring that reality doesn't help. "You've been married for 15 years, he told Patrick. "You don't know what it's like out there anymore." It didn't take long. Within minutes of the podcast going live, the comment section was ablaze. And if Patrick thought everyone would rally behind him, he was in for a surprise. Some users felt PBD was way out of line. "That was an unnecessary public attack," one wrote. "That conversation should have happened off camera. He humiliated Adam." Another added, "You can push someone without crushing them. That was just bullying." But plenty of others stood firmly with Patrick. "Finally, someone calls out the victim mindset," one supporter said. "Adam needed that wake-up call." Others praised PBD for holding the line and keeping standards high. "This is why men respect PBD. He says what needs to be said." And then there were those who saw both sides. "They're both right," one commenter observed. "Modern dating is brutal, but blaming the world won't change anything. You've got to build yourself." The debate wasn't just about Patrick and Adam anymore. It became about everyone watching, especially men trying to navigate a confusing cultural landscape. This podcast episode tapped into something way bigger than a single argument. We're living through a massive shift in gender dynamics. Women are marrying later, or not at all. Men feel overlooked. Dating apps, hookup culture, and the rise of boss babe energy have completely changed how people connect. And then there's the concept of oflation, a term Adam introduced, meaning the rising cost of dating women who no longer resemble the wives of past generations. As he put it bluntly, men today have to work 20 times harder than their grandfathers, for women who are 20% worse than their grandmothers. It's a harsh take, but one that struck a chord online. PBD countered with a simple truth. Yes, the world is different, but men have always faced challenges. The job isn't to complain, it's to adapt. "If you want a wife, go where good women are," he said. "You won't find her in a nightclub. Go find better communities, better standards, better people." In other words, the dating game might have changed, but the rules of self-respect haven't. PBD stands for accountability. He believes the solution is to push through, not pity yourself. He's the guy who throws you a towel, not a tissue. His message is simple. Get in shape, get disciplined, get to work. No one's coming to save you. Adam, on the other hand, believes in calling out real-world problems. He sees himself as a voice for the average man, guys who feel they're doing everything right but still losing. In his eyes, talking about these issues isn't weakness, it's honesty. And here's the twist. They're both right. Yes, there are real obstacles out there. But yes, sitting in frustration won't change them. One side says, life isn't fair, so adapt. The other says, life isn't fair and we need to talk about it. And in today's culture, those two views often collide, just like they did on camera. In the final minutes of the show, both men circled back to their values. For Patrick, it's about legacy. He talks about his kids, his wife, and his faith. He believes in building a future, not just building wealth. "If I chose the selfish path," he said, "I'd probably make more money. But I'd be empty." Adam, meanwhile, admitted he's still figuring things out. He's successful, yes, but he's single, searching and stuck between two worlds. One where he enjoys freedom, and one where he wonders if he's missing something deeper. His frustration didn't come from lack of success. It came from wanting to understand what the future holds for men like him. And PBD's biggest criticism? Adam hasn't decided which man he wants to be. "Make up your mind," Patrick said. "Stand for something. Don't float." In the end, it wasn't really about the stats or the sass. It was about identity, values, and whether the modern man is rising to the challenge or just reacting to it. So here's the real question. Was PBD giving tough love or crossing the line? Was Adam raising valid concerns or making excuses? This clash wasn't just about them. It's about the war going on in society right now, between tradition and change, between masculinity and vulnerability, between silent frustration and loud accountability. One thing's for sure, everyone watching felt it, and everyone had an opinion. Was Adam speaking truth, or just playing the victim? Did PBD go too far, or say what needed to be said? Let us know what you think in the comments below, because this conversation is far from over. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.